Hi, I'm Danica Tormohlen, VP of Content for Informa Connect, and we are here today to talk about an interesting exclusive VIP experience at the 44th Annual National Sports Collectors Convention. And it was Ludex, TikTok Shop, and CGC Cards and DAP Sports Team teamed up for this exclusive VIP experience. And the show was held in Cleveland, Ohio from July 24th through the 28th. So we wanted to find out a little bit more about it. So I am happy to be joined today by Heather, who is the co-founder. Is that correct?
That is correct. President and co-founder. Yes.
Welcome to our program.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So tell us a little bit about the experience. You were there on site, right? Tell us about what it looked like.
The National Sports Collectors Convention is a massive event. It's one of the largest in the country, and it happens just once a year. And like you said, it was the 44th year, and it has grown exponentially. This industry has grown. It's a $44 billion industry. Our role has really evolved over the last couple of years. The main convention is about 500,000 square feet, about 450,000 square feet. So it's a massive space. And over the last 2 years, Ludex has come in to host the VIP lounge, which really is an opportunity to leave the floor and go in another space where you can sit down, connect with other collectors and other industry partners, have a drink, put your feet up, and talk about your collection, have something to eat. The VIP room, I think they sold between 5,000 and 6,000 tickets for just the VIP experience this year, which is, I know, an increase over last year. And the space was 4 times the size year over year. So we've really got a large footprint and really including that VIP experience, giving over 100,000 people that attend the show. I actually don't know the exact number, that hasn't come out yet, but it's a huge amount of people. And so the VIP is an exclusive in that they only sold 5,000 to 6,000 VIP tickets, but it is a really great way to enjoy the show differently than being on the main floor.
So you haven't sponsored this area before, but this is the first time you're doing it in conjunction with the other partners?
Yes, we did partner with other partners last year, but this was a totally different scale. TikTok Shop was a partner in CCG, and as you mentioned, DAP Sports as well. We had an awesome main stage that we had athletes come and do interviews, CEOs of companies. Brian Ludden, our CEO, conducted several interviews throughout the day and through trade night that happened at night. And it was just a very interactive, engaging. There were different kind of entertainment spots that you could walk through the 40,000 square feet that were different games. And we highlighted different artists in the industry that were doing particular art on site. It was a very engaging. We had athletes doing autographs as well as interviews, meeting with fans. So it was really exciting, a very, very exciting place to be throughout the National.
It sounds like it. It sounds really like a cool spot. I love the idea of selling. Our audience is a lot of other event organizers, and having a VIP experience is great. And also selling tickets to that to have that premium experience is really the airlines, right? Everybody upselling and offering premium experiences for those who want to pay for it or take advantage of it.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's the main floor of the National is very crowded. And there's a lot of people and lots of vendors and dealers and athletes signing. So to be able to escape to some place that has a little bit more air conditioning, so it's not quite so crowded and a little cooler, was particularly a value for attendees this year.
So what was your main goal as a sponsor of the event?
For us, we've only been in business for 3 years. It's a big deal for us to have the footprint that we had at the National Convention. We also created an interactive map for the entire show so that users would be able to know, or attendees would be able to know, where all the different dealers were, what they had at their tables, where the athletes were, and just, again, it's a map. But our main goal really was brand awareness, continuing to grow our people knowing who we are and what we do. Ludex is an AI sports and trading card scanning app where we use artificial intelligence to digitize collections, identify and value them. So really wanting to get our brand out there is a big part of why we did this and created the map for the convention as well.
So, how do you measure success on that? What are your KPIs to determine whether your brand got the awareness that you were desiring?
That's a really great question. I think that will play out over the months ahead. But in terms of the success of the event, how we can measure just the event itself. Did we organize it well? Were things well thought out? Did the schedule get aligned and followed? Did our partners feel supported and heard? And that did we make sure that their needs were all met? From that perspective, it was a great success. We all walked away hugging, high fiving, and we're like, wow, this was amazing. So, from a partnership perspective, as well as the national, the folks on the board of the national, I believe that they too found the experience to be elevated year over year and really positive for all attendees and something that we hope to continue to level up. But I think in terms of the brand awareness and how personally as a business, we'll measure that through time.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you promoted the experience to the attendees at the event? And I happened to see a press release on PR Newswire, which is why I reached out to you in the first place when I saw it, and I was intrigued right away. And so I'm assuming that's one way that you did it. But what are some of the other ways that you think were really effective in promoting the experience to the attendees?
Yeah, so I think first is that kind of teeing it up, telling people ahead of time, weeks leading up to it, really starting about a month out, teasing the experience, teasing how it's going to be even better than last year. The athletes that were going to be in attendance, Brian Urlacher came and did free autographed trading cards for the event. And we just kept teasing out all the different activations that were going to be throughout the space. So really engaging with our partners on social awareness, getting it out on all our channels and their channels as well. And then also at the show itself, we promoted having a lot of signage, directing people to it so they could find us easily. So it's ahead of time, promoting it, advertising it, telling our partners to do the same. And then at the space itself, having a lot of signage with really clear indications of where VIP Lounge lives and what was offered.
Great. I will be asking your team also for some show photos, and we'll include that in our story as well so people can really visualize what it looked like, because that will, I'm sure, really help make all of this make sense to
Yes.
people. Did you work with a partner to execute the experience itself, like an experiential agency, or did you just work with show management and organize it yourself? How did that come about?
We really worked with the national team. We had a point of contact that the national was organizing for this VIP lounge that we worked very closely with. And then our partners. We spent probably about 4 months in the weeds planning every detail, meeting sometimes multiple times a week, planning out the schedule, knowing what activations were going to be where, lots of coordination and planning that went into it. But it was really a very heavy lift for us. We're a small team. We only have about 20 employees. So it was a massive endeavor, a lot of logistics. But when you plan something far enough in advance with really engaged, smart partners that had the same goal as you, everybody wins. And it worked really well.
That's impressive that you were able to pull it off all on your own. A lot of people use experiential agencies and partners like that to help them execute that. So that is really interesting that you were able to do it on your own. Do you exhibit in other or sponsor events at other shows?
Let me a quick point of clarification. I don't want by any means to say that we did it on our own. Our partners, DAP,
Yeah,
CCG, and
yeah,
TikTok Shop, and then
yes.
also, yeah, our contact at the national. It was a collaborative effort. So how we are going to have we sponsored? Will we sponsor the show bets? We are talking about Fanatics Fest, Comic Con, and other large events that we are looking to do at a larger scale. We've certainly held our own. We had a very small card show in Chicago. It's called the Ludex Card Show that we had in the Chicago area. We probably held that about 6 times. Took a break from that to focus more on our technology and our core business practice. But we're really looking to level up as we're diversifying the card types and products and collectibles that we have on our app. So Comic Con, because we're going to be adding comic books on our app and want to get more in the sports audience broader by attending Fanatics Fest as well and potentially VCon. So there are other big shows out there, but right now this was it for this year, and we're looking forward to walking the floor at a couple others, and then hopefully attending and having a booth at Fanatics Fest next year.
So are you going to the event? It's coming up in a few weeks in New York.
Yes, I think we're going to walk the floor. We're not hosting
Yeah.
anything. We're going to be able to put our feet up a little bit and just enjoy being there and being a participant attendee.
We're watching that launch closely as well. A friend of mine is working on that, and with some deep roots in the industry on the Comic Con side. They've got a lot of great celebrity speakers and autograph signings, things like that. And Fanatics is a good, strong brand, but it is a brand new event. Yeah.
Yes, it'll be really
Yeah.
interesting to see how that plays out. I have no doubt it's going to be really well attended and it's going to be really well run.
Since you said you are a 3-year-old company, so events, is this one of your biggest marketing spends this year?
Yes, this is a significant investment for us, and probably in terms of the event itself, 100% stands alone in comparison to how our investment in marketing, advertising, promotions throughout the year. This was number one.
I am so curious. So, since it is a 3-year-old company, you're the founder. What inspired you? Tell me about the founding of the company.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you. Uh, During COVID, a lot of people were home and looking at sports cards and trading cards for the first time in a long time. At least that was us. And the industry really did grow exponentially during COVID. So a lot of people were at home, they were looking through their cards, and we were looking at a Derek Jeter Upper Deck rookie card and trying to figure out what it was worth. And very quickly realized that upon Googling it, it could be worth $25 or $2,500, but we couldn't really figure out how to figure that out because we didn't know enough about the card itself. So we thought there has to be an easier way to scan something like a QR code and know what its value is. Long story short, we built it. We set out very quickly during research, realizing how large the industry was. It was nearly a $45 billion industry, 120 million collectors globally, just such an untapped market in terms of the application of technology. So we created a minimum viable product and went out and raised money. And long story short, we launched now. It's been 18 months since we launched. 3 years since we started, and we've had 1.2 million downloads of our app. We have 250,000 people monthly on our app using it, and we're just growing double digits month over month. 130 million cards have been scanned on our app since we started. So obviously there was a need. So we've met a need, and it's pretty exciting to be a part of really growing and changing an industry.
That is exciting. So, is your background in tech? Are you a collector? Is your son or someone in your family a collector? Is that what the Derek Jeter story came from?
Yeah, so all my kids are collectors, and we had 3 of our 4 kids actually at the event working. My daughter's an intern; she was working on the marketing team. My son was there attending, and we had 2 kids there attending, just trading and buying cards. But no, my background's actually not in tech. I'm more of a human capital strategy and operations background. And then Brian Bludden came actually from the financial markets. He was a trader on the floor of the CBOE in Chicago for 25 years. And that's really where the name comes from. Ludex comes from his last name, which is Bludden, and the exchange concept. So that's where it all started from.
That is a great story. And it seems like your event participation over the last couple of years has really, the brand awareness sounds like it's working.
Yes, I will tell you, just a handful of years ago, the VIP lounge was literally like tables and chairs. There was nothing happening in there. And it is when you're able to see the images and videos that I'm going to share with you, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what a difference from like tables and chairs and just a big wide room to this experience, which was just spectacular and very well attended. It was really increasing the value for the people that were attending the show and creating something that was really special and meaningful, giving them a place to experience their passions across generations, create conversation, buy, sell, and trade with one another. It was just a spectacular event.
Excellent. I thank you so much for your time today, Heather, and can't wait to hear about your growth plans and if you expand to some other events next year. So we'll be back in touch with you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.